Alright, hello. Oh wow, that glare is terrible. Okay, let's take off my glasses for this video. Um, so I just want to talk a little bit about mental illness a little bit, and just like what some people have been doing, kind of like glorifying it. I think more people they glorify depression a little bit more than anxiety, I suppose. Um, yeah, like I've seen like posts like pro depressed, like hashtag pro depressed, or there's like this shirt. It's like stressed, depressed, but well dressed, or just things like that. And then there's also people that use mental illness as like I guess a scream for attention, I suppose. Um, so yeah, I guess I just want to talk a little bit on that. So I'll talk first about like the hashtags and like the t-shirts and stuff like that. I think it has something to do with the media, maybe a little bit. Kind of making depression kind of seem like a romantic type of thing, like it's like in or cool or something to be depressed. And I'll just say right now, anybody who has depression can tell you that they would never, think that that was something to, be proud of or think it's cool. I think if you're hashtagging pro depression, you probably don't really have depression. In my opinion, depression is when you are suicidal, when every day is like a complete struggle, you're exhausted, and basically your quality of life is diminished because of your mental health, and that's not something to be pro towards, because all of those are negative things. So yeah, I think anybody who posts something like that doesn't really have a firm grasp on what depression is. So yeah, I don't think that anybody who posts something like that would be depressed. And the same thing goes with like a t-shirt like that. I mean, if you're wearing like a t-shirt like that, I'm sure you're not depressed. If you're depressed, you're not just gonna want to throw it out there. And okay, so then I'll also talk about people that think that having a mental illness is like cute, or it's like in or something like that to be depressed. I guess that would be like some type of a mental illness as well. Because if you're going around and like telling people you're depressed, and when you're really not like that, I guess. I don't know how to say this. I guess it's more of like a cry for attention if you're doing something like that, because like you're glorifying, basically, like you're using it as like a crutch. I don't know where to go with this one. Yeah, I think anybody who does have depression though isn't necessarily going to be very ecstatic to tell you about it, because usually it's something that's very personal to people, and I guess it depends on how long you've been struggling with it for. I've been struggling with it for a very long time, so I'm pretty open about it with like people that I trust, and I guess everybody who watches any of my videos, I suppose. It's not really something I'm ashamed of or anything like that. It's something that I live with anxiety and depression, so it's not something that I don't know. I don't think you should be ashamed of yourself. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate that I have these things, and I think it's unfortunate that other people have these things as well. But I don't think it's something to be ashamed of. But it's also not something that you would be, proud of either. Like you definitely wouldn't want to, throw it out there like it's something that's a good thing. Because anybody with anxiety and depression knows that it's not romantic. It's not anything cool. It's not anything fun. It's an obstacle. It's a huge obstacle in anybody who struggles with this life, and I think they would do anything in their power to get rid of it, instead of trying to, glorify it, because it's not something to be glorified. It's bothersome and 24/7 as well. It's a constant battle. So yeah, definitely not glorifying. It's definitely not worthy of glorifying. It's a burden, to put it lightly, because there's a difference between clinical depression and like sadness. Clinical depression, in my eyes, is being suicidal and thinking you're like not worth it and things like that. And anxiety is a little bit more different. Anxiety has a lot of physical side effects. Anxiety can mess up your digestive process like really badly, because what happens is, if you have anxiety, you most likely experience some type of anxiety attack or panic attack. And when that happens on a frequent basis, what's happening is there's a little alarm in your brain, and it says, oh, fight or flight, fight or flight. And your body gets rushed with adrenaline, like there's a tiger in front of you, but there's no actual danger there. It's the anxiety trick. And what that does is, when your body is preparing for something so scary as a tiger being in front of you, your body is thrown out of homeostasis, and you're being thrown out of homeostasis all the time, and makes you very tired, because you're using cortisol and adrenaline all the time to fuel these anxiety attacks. So basically, wreaks havoc on your body. Anxiety has a lot of bodily effects, like IBS, and anxiety and depression get so serious that your muscles feel like they're like dying. Like you feel achy like all the time, and tired and just unmotivated and things like that. So with all of these things being said, I think it's safe to say that if you have either of these two things, that you wouldn't want to glorify it. So yeah, I think that I'm not going to say like, if you glorify mental illness, you should, something like that. I mean, do what you want, but it's not something to be proud of. It's not romantic or anything like that. So yeah, I guess this isn't really much of a rant. It's just more of like trying to spread awareness, because it's definitely not a cool thing to have. Being depressed is not fun, and having anxiety is not fun as well. So yeah, that's pretty much about wraps it up. Please leave a comment or subscribe. I would be happy to talk to people, and excuse me, and just yeah. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.